I'm sure a lot of you have workbooks that have multiple worksheets in them that maybe from time to time you'd like to maybe consolidate and kind of pull together all the sheets. I mean, they'll still be separate, but where you can consolidate the values into like one sheet to get like a total. So, for instance, what we have here is an example of 4 different sheets, this being all pretty much related, and that they all are quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. They all contribute to a particular year. What we want to be able to do is take this information that we have amongst all these sheets, and if you can imagine kind of overlaying them like transparencies on top of one another, have like a 5th sheet, like this one here, that will have all of, let's say, Chicago's Anderson numbers. So Chicago for Anderson, this one right here, plus Chicago Anderson, this one here, plus Chicago Anderson, this one here, and this one here. Those 4 numbers added together and put about right there. And once you've done it there, the rest of them will all fall in place as well, but that's the idea. So we're going to use something called the Consolidate function, or not a function, I should say, it's a tool that will make this all happen for us. So we've got a number of different videos coming up, different ways that you can kind of link your sheets together and so forth, but this is probably the classic way. This has been the feature that we've had from almost the very beginning of Excel. So it's a very old tool, but very useful. So what it really comes down to is we're not actually even using a formula for this, but I think it still should be kind of part of what we're doing with formulas, because the formulas are kind of done automatically for you, I guess, right? So here's how it works. What you'll do is you'll have all your related sheets together like this. And what you'll do is you'll end up creating a new sheet, new worksheet, and you can just use your little button down there to do it. So you create that, maybe give it a name, and then you start the process. So what you'll do is you'll go to the very beginning. You'll go to A1 of this new sheet, okay? Then you'll go over to the Data tab, and then you'll see over towards the right-hand side, this little button right here is called Consolidate. Now, yours might be a little bit different looking. This is Office 365 that we're using here. It's constantly updating, so the pictures might be a little bit different from maybe what you have on your machines, but it will be called Consolidate, and it will have an icon very similar to what you see there. So what you'll do is you'll click onto that. This little dialog box pops up, and what we're going to end up doing is putting into here the range for each of the sheets that we want to include in this ultimate, consolidation. So what we figure is that we want to add all this together, so you're using the sum function. So as I said before, it's kind of done for you automatically here, but you can have other things that you can do as well, most of which I don't think anybody ever used, but this one's probably the most popular, adding things up. So what you do, first of all, is you go down into the reference area. You then click onto the first sheet that you want to include here. So we're going to click onto that. And then what you do is you select, including the labels in this situation. So starting with A1, we go all the way across to the end there, and then all the way down to Zulu. All right. So we take that, let go. You'll see that reference being stored there. Then what you do is kind of an interesting thing. You just click on to Add, and that will then put that range into our little cluster here, all right, a little bin. Then what you do is you tell, okay, now we're going to go to the second sheet. Now what's kind of interesting is because we've done this first one already, and it's going to be the same size as the next one. When we go and click on to the quarter 2, it's already been selected. You can see little ants running around here. So that's really cool. If for some reason it wasn't, then what you do is you'd start at A1 here and drag it across, all right? And then drag it down like that, let go. It would put that range in there, and then you'd hit add again. So now that would be your second quarter, right? So then what you do is you'll go now to the third quarter. We're going to take advantage of it already being selected for us. So then all we have to do is just hit add. And we go to the fourth quarter. Click onto that. Already been selected. So we hit add, and there we go. Now, a couple more things. If you want to make sure, I mean, like right now, the way it's set up, the labels on the top row are going to be brought over to the blank sheet, but because we don't have this checked for the left column, these labels won't be brought in. So we definitely want to have these labels as well, so we'll check it and click onto that. There we go. Now, the last thing is, it can link to this, the 4 sheets. So if you assume or think that maybe later on after you've done this, that maybe some of the data in here will change, then what you need to do is tell it that you want to install it as a link, and that way anything changes here, it automatically will update here. Now what I'm going to do just for this exercise is I'm going to do it twice. We're going to do it one way without the links, and then we'll do it another way with the links, and you can kind of see the difference here, okay? So I'm going to leave the link off, hit OK, and there we go. It's not fancy, you know, it doesn't bring over the formatting that you see over here, so you have to redo that, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Now I will tell you, if you want to bring over the formatting of this, of one of these other sheets into this one so that, you know, it looks halfway decent. You know, so while we're in here, we'll click onto this, all right? We'll select the whole thing. We'll then, in the Home tab, click on to this button here, which is the Format Painter, as some of you are probably familiar with. We'll click onto that. And then we'll go over into the Consolidation sheet, the one we want to change the look of. And then all we have to do is just click on to the Select All on this one, all right? And it does that for you. Now we'll still have to do a little fix-up in this case, and really all you have to do there is, while we still have it all kind of selected here, we can actually just kind of point to any one of the borders here, double-click it, and it fixes it right up. So you end up with it, for the most part, looking like the other sheets that we had there. See, this is a little bit wider because the numbers are bigger. But the point of the matter is that we can see that Anderson, selling into the Chicago territory, did a little over $41,000 or $41,000 whatever this is between the 4 quarters. All right, there's no formula in there, no formula that you can see, but it was all created using a formula in the background. Okay, now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to hit this button here and give ourselves a new worksheet. So there we go. I can go down here and say, you know, G total or something, whatever. Give it a name. All right. Now, so this time we're going to do the same thing, but in this situation we're going to do the linking, okay? So while you're here, we'll click on to A1, make sure we're there. We'll go back into data. We'll go back to the consolidation right here. We'll click that, all right? So we'll click on to where it says reference. We'll go to quarter 1. We'll select that whole range once again. Let go, hit add, go to quarter 2, hit add, quarter 3, hit add, and then quarter 4, hit add, all right? We'll want both of the top row and the left column, both of those, and we're going to want to link it, so we're going to choose the link here. And then once we've done that, we'll hit OK, and there we go. So now, in this situation, it looks a little bit different because now we've got this grouping over here. Now, what's that all about? Well, here's Chicago, here's Anderson, and this is what Anderson did in Chicago, right? If you click on this little plus next to Anderson here, that will then show you the 4 numbers from the 4 sheets here that contributed to the 41,749. If you want to see them all, what you can actually do is you can actually just click onto the number 1 here in the grouping, and that will roll back up again. And if you go back and hit number 2, it rolls them all out. So actually now you'll see all of them in there. I'm not a real big fan of this because the labeling that they give you, if I go ahead and expand this out a little bit here, it doesn't really tell you the sheet name, it just tells you the file name, right? So you just have to figure, okay, this is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, all right? But then the upside to all this is that if we go and change any of the numbers, let's say for instance I go over here to, I'll just make it simple, go to quarter 1 here, go to Anderson and say, well, Anderson actually did 100,000 in Chicago in the first quarter, right? So now if we go back to if we look at the regular consolidation, nothing's happened there because we didn't do any linking there. But if we go now to the newest one we did, that one then will have 100,000 there that we had put in that first quarter. And then you'd have the total, the new total down there. So that's the advantage of the linking part. The other thing you have to kind of look out for is, the formatting. And it's not going to be very easy to copy this formatting over to here because we've got the new rows and everything. So you pretty much would have to kind of go in there yourself and kind of fix it up and make it look nice. But other than that, it's a great little tool that we have for consolidating. So hopefully this will come in handy. Maybe this will be the tool of choice when it comes to pulling together multiple related sheets, adding them up and that kind of thing. Really doesn't take that long to do, and it gives you very, very powerful results. So hopefully you like the video. Take care.